If you're not hungry for breakfast, you're going to go ahead and eat. If you're not hungry for lunch, you're going to go ahead and eat, okay? You're not going to skip those because you recognize that possibly this is your body in shutdown mode and it's learned to not get hungry anymore. You're not going to skip a meal because you're busy. You're not going to work through lunch anymore. And you're not going to eat on the go. Hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Christian Wellness for Weary Women. I am your host, Cassie Hutton, and today we are touching on a topic that I said we were going to talk about 2 weeks ago. We talked about the episode on healthy snacks with kids in the house and how to make your day not so overwhelming. And I was going to talk about at the end of that episode, touch on just a few pieces of how I was able to restore my health with food, how to stick to that food plan, and all the things without overwhelming yourself, but how you prioritize you as a mom, a busy mom, a homeschooling mom, a work at home for mom, whatever you do, a mom that's in burnout. How do you actually prioritize your health and regain your health back? And specifically, we're going to talk about how to do that with food. How do you prepare your food? When do you prepare your food? How do you prioritize and make sure that you're getting the food and nutrients that you need into your life so that you can restore your health and where you've been depleted? So anyways, we're going to talk about that today. Before we dive into today's episode, I want to talk about my 1-hour coaching call that I'm now offering you guys. I'm so excited about this. This is, I think, like the third week that I've been offering it, and it's an amazing offer. Like, I'm so excited to offer this to you guys because I've wanted to do it for a really long time, but I haven't just had someone walk me through the steps and show me exactly what needed to be included in this 1-hour coaching call. And so for you guys, you get a 1-hour coaching call with me, a one-on-one, where we talk about how to set boundaries in your life, what's overwhelming you, what is the most pressing thing on your plate right now. And then we talk about what are some practical steps to help you with your nutrition, with your hydration, and what that looks like in your daily life practically. And so we make a plan. I help you step by step how to implement that plan so that when you leave our call, you can start on it right away. And with that, I follow up with you 7 days later to make sure, is it working for you? What's working for you? What's not working for you? What can we tweak for you? And so this is the perfect practical way to get your foot in the door to actually doing something to benefit your health in the new year, because I know all of us want good health. That's why you're here. That's why you're listening to this. And so if that's for you, it is $97. So it's really cost effective. It's worth the price, every penny of it. And what it doesn't include is the HTMA testing. But there's so many ways. Like, I work with clients all the time. Sometimes I work with clients for 2 to 3 months before we ever get their HTMA test back. And that's not because the lab takes that long. It's because the client is dragging their heels and doesn't want to send their hair sample in just yet. So I'm saying, like, this is doable. There's so many things that we can work on where I can say, what are your symptoms? What's your number one health goal right now? What's your top health struggle right now? And I can go, okay, well, it's probably coming from 1, 2, or 3 things. And this is maybe possibly the root cause of it. And so here's some things that you can do. And so you don't have to walk away from that call and go buy a ton of supplements. And instead, I go, okay, here's some foods that you can specifically eat to support that. But if you want some supplements, here's some that can support that too. And so we come up with that plan together. And if you're interested, go to join.cassiehutton.com. I would love, love, love to work with you. So here's how I want to start this episode off. I am eating my own words from the episode from 2 weeks ago about talking about how do you do this with kids at home? Do you just let your kids eat whatever? How do you keep your kids eating healthy foods in the home? And it's not easy. And in that, I said, don't buy snacks that you don't want them to have. Guess what I did? I did this before that call, so it's not like I did, or that episode, it's not like I recorded that episode and then went out and bought all the things. I already had them in the pantry and the kids had not been getting into them at all. I had them there for if we go over, like when we go over to our new house, we're building a new house and sometimes we're over there for a couple of hours and like I need some easy snacks for them. So they found these easy snacks and today has been horrific. I'm not even kidding. I walked outside my door just a second ago as I was preparing for this to hit record on this episode, and my 2-year-old got in there, got the Annie's Bunny crackers out, the little goldfish type crackers, and they were literally smashed into my carpet. So this is what I mean when I say stick to your boundaries and don't overstep them. Don't go buy the Annie's crackers. Had to bring them in my bedroom now just to make sure he doesn't get what is left of them. The majority of them went in the trash. So, how did I rebuild our food rhythm so that my burned out body could finally heal as a homeschooling mom of 5? And that's the homeschooling mom of 5. The reason that's there, you fill in whatever you are, right? As a working mom of 2 or whatever the case may be for you. Either way, when you have kids or when you're trying to take care of your health and you've got a lot of other things going on, even if you don't have kids, you're working, okay? You're trying to manage a household, whatever it might be, it comes down to prioritizing and it comes down to mindset, okay? So as usual, we're going to address mindset because this is a big deal. Whenever I started my health journey, it was kind of do or die for me. I felt like if I don't drastically change my lifestyle, what I'm doing, and address whatever is causing my hormones to be so off and my mood swings to be so dramatic, then I seriously, like, I couldn't go through life this way much longer, and it had only been a few weeks. Actually, well, it had been maybe a couple of months at that point, but I had already been looking for what's going on and digging around and trying to find someone to work with for at least a month at that point. And so my mindset shifted because it really felt like I'm going to die and I cannot be the mother I need to be and my marriage is about to fail. There were so many things that went into it. And so for me, it was like a drastic 180 change. I had to do a full turnaround. But as my health got better, what allowed my mindset to stay that way? Well, number one, it was because I had implemented enough changes for it to become a lifestyle now. I no longer have to wrap my mind around, well, let me think my way through this one. No, it becomes a natural process. It becomes a natural thing that you go to each day. When you go to the grocery store, you don't go down the snack aisle anymore. When you go, when you're in the checkout line, you don't even look at, those last minute things that you could grab, the Snickers bars. Like, for me, it's a reminder when I see the Snickers bar or I see the Twix bar or I see the chips that I love so much. It's like, no, when I look at that bag, now I see inflammation. Now I see toxins. Now I see seed oils. Now I see, a burden in my body and something that can't be digested that's contributing to mineral depletion and all the things. And so it's about how you see what you're looking at and changing your perspective around it. And so one of the other things with mindset shift is prioritizing food. Okay, so we're going to get into that. And it starts with your groceries, but then it starts with what does your day actually look like, okay? So if you are homeschooling, let's paint the picture of what the day looks like for you. This is what our day looks like. We wake up. I get up fairly early now. I didn't always, but let's say I got up at 7. I usually get up around 5 or 6 now, but let's say like I used to, I got up at 7 and we would cook breakfast and then we would clean up that breakfast and then we would get started with our homeschooling for the day. So breakfast, once we started homeschooling, was a thing, but it wasn't always a healthy breakfast. It was once we moved into, okay, now we're taking care of our health, now we're going to prioritize breakfast. And so we all eat breakfast before our day ever gets started. And we prioritize breakfast so much so that even the 2 little ones that go to daycare, they eat breakfast here at the house, even though the daycare provides breakfast for them. If they're there on time, they can eat breakfast, but it's hardly ever a protein. It's never a protein rich breakfast, but most of the time it doesn't involve any protein at all. they sit down and it's like fruit, it's cereal, it's there's a few days that they might have an egg, and there's a few days that they might have a piece of sausage, but that's only once or twice a week, and so it's full of sugars. Even if it's fruit or a good sugar, it's still full of sugar without any protein, and so their blood sugar is getting spiked. And then you've got Cheerios, which is the absolute worst cereal, full of toxins, horrible for your health, okay? But what it comes down to, well, let me just keep going. So let's start with the grocery bill. What it looks like to prioritize your food specifically, not just your health, like, because we could talk about you need to prioritize me time, and you need to prioritize sunshine, and but what does it look like to practically eat healthy every single day as a busy mom? And that looks like get breakfast in no matter what. It's really easy to skip breakfast because the body just kind of is like, oh, I'm not hungry. And so especially people that do intermittent fasting, they definitely skip breakfast because it's one of the easiest meals to skip during the day, but yet it's the most important. And we all know that. But a true sign of blood sugar instability is not being hungry in the morning. If you have kids and your kids wake up in the morning, what do they do? They immediately want to eat. Especially the younger that they are. They're like, feed me. That infant baby wakes up, feed me. You have to feed that baby immediately, whether they're waking up for the day or they're waking up from a nap. They want to be fed. And as they get a little bit older, they still want to be fed. Like, that's the first thing that they want in the morning. You have to, and if you're there and you're in that stage, when you go to the grocery store, be sure that you're buying the food that they need, that's easy for you, and it's protein rich, and it's practical, and it's something that they love, and it's not spiking their blood sugar, so that you have that ready for them each and every day, so that you're not scrambling, overwhelmed, angry, okay? Instead, you're prepared. You have something in place that's going to make your day easier. As they get a little bit older, it's a little bit easier to stretch breakfast time an hour after they wake up or so. But what I'm pointing to is that it's natural, and it should be, that we are actually hungry first thing when we wake up in the morning. And so if you're not, this could be a sign of blood sugar instability going on. There's also studies that show, I will try to find this study, I'm not promising it, but I will try to find this study and put it in the show notes. But there are studies that show that women who eat sooner, like if you wake up at 8 a.m. and you eat by 9 a.m., women that eat within that time frame of waking up sooner, closer, I'm trying to word that correctly, but when you eat closer to waking up in that time frame, their metabolic system is healthier. Their endocrine system is better because, so their hormones are healthier because their endocrine system is directly linked to their hormones. Men's is not. And so there are studies that prove the sooner you eat after waking up, the better off your health is, which is very interesting, right? It's very interesting. Not grazing through the day is a big one. Not grazing, because you're never giving your digestive system time to rest and actually digest and sweep everything out of the digestive tract and reset and heal for the next thing to come through. So eating in the mornings, get your protein-rich breakfast in. Then you already have a head start for the day. And then you're possibly getting your hydration in and not just running on caffeine. Please don't drink caffeine on an empty stomach. Just don't do it, okay? Just don't do it. Don't do it. If you're not hungry, okay, a lot of people love to let me just work through lunch. You eat breakfast, let me work through lunch, and then I'll just eat later when it's dinner time. Eat an earlier dinner, right? That makes up for not eating lunch, because I'm going to eat an earlier dinner, because they say the earlier that you eat dinner, the better it is for you, right? Scratch that. You've got to eat lunch. You've got to eat even when you're not hungry. Especially if you're in a depleted state, you're just going to have to eat. It's part of it. You're not going to heal if you don't replenish your body. So it's about prioritization. So when you go to the grocery store, right, step by step, you got to start pausing during the day. You cannot let yourself get so busy, because 5 days later, you'll realize, oh, I was busy every single day this week and worked through lunch. And so here you are 5 days later, and it's hard to make that up. So start prioritizing every single meal. Mentally take a pause, tell yourself it's time to stop, and go eat the thing. And prepare. Again, this comes down to preparing ahead of time. What are you going to eat? So if that looks like making a little bit extra for dinner each night so that you have leftovers for lunch, then do that. If it looks like, oh, I love breakfast for 2 meals out of the day, then do that. If it looks like I have frozen shrimp in my freezer, that if I have nothing else to eat, I will break out that frozen shrimp and eat that. If it looks like, and then I'll have like cheese on the side, cheddar cheese, or because I'm doing low carbs. Okay, the last thing that I try to do, again, I'm not perfect at this, but if you're eating on the go, this is a big deal. Stop eating on the go. Stop feeding everybody else. Stop waking up late, whatever it is, whatever it looks like for you, stop eating on the go, okay? If you're grabbing your breakfast to go and you're eating it in the car, then you're never truly in a rest and digest state, okay? So if you're not seeing food as nutrition and fuel for your body, you're just seeing it as this goes into my belly, it fills my belly so that I'm not hungry and we're in and out, then again, this goes back to mindset. You've got to start seeing food as it truly is. It's nourishment for your body. It's actually, when you eat food and you're eating the good kinds of food and it's actually soothing to your body and you're eating it in that rested and digested state, then you are actually soothing the nervous system. You're actually bringing your nervous system down into rest and digest instead of causing it to be in fight or flight. And so one reason it's so important to not just eat clean and actually find foods that are healing for your body. This is why a lot of people, they change their diet and they wonder why things are still not working. We get their HTMA test back and they're like, I've been doing so good. I've been eating this and eating that and eating clean. I'm like, yeah, but your body's still fighting these certain things. Like you were buying organic bread, for example, but it's still a grain and your body's fighting the grain. And so every time you were eating that grain, your body was fighting it instead of resting and digesting it. And so super important. We walk through those things. If you work with me, we figure out what's hindering you and we figure out what works for you and what doesn't and how to heal that system so that your body can begin to absorb the nutrients, process the nutrients, and then what's coupled with that is if you've got anything that like emotionally that you need to digest and take in and absorb, it goes hand in hand. And so eating on the go can be very detrimental to your health. So to recap all the things that we just talked about, okay, everything starts with a mindset shift, prioritizing food and seeing food as nutrition and fuel for your tank. Your car is not going to go if it doesn't have the proper fuel. So you've got to fill up every single day and it starts in the morning. Do not skip breakfast. Give yourself a protein-rich breakfast and hydrate yourself in the morning, okay? Don't drink too much water or liquid before you eat because it can deplete that stomach acid that helps break down food. But you can have plenty to drink afterwards or with it, just have sips with it, and then really hydrate yourself in between meals each and every day. So start with that mindset shift where you are making up your mind that you are going to prioritize food. It starts with the mindset shift that you are going to buy the right groceries in the grocery store. Okay, and then that's the next thing is that what kind of groceries are you buying and bringing into your home? If you're not bringing junk into your home, if you're not bringing foods that your body can't metabolize into your home, then you're going to be much better off and you're going to set yourself up for success. You're going to eat in the mornings. You're not going to skip breakfast. You're going to eat even if you're not hungry. So if you're not hungry for breakfast, you're going to go ahead and eat. If you're not hungry for lunch, you're going to go ahead and eat, okay? You're not going to skip those because you recognize that possibly this is your body in shutdown mode and it's learned to not get hungry anymore. You're not going to skip a meal because you're busy. You're not going to work through lunch anymore. And you're not going to eat on the go. These are the ways and very simple steps that I did to prioritize my health and to get my health back. And as a mom of 5, made sure that no matter what, I was getting nutrition in. And then on top of that, I was not allowing supplementation to take the place of a meal. I was never allowing supplementation I was never saying, okay, well, I took my supplements today, so it's okay to skip a meal, or allowing supplements to replace a meal, or to think that supplements were enough and not getting proper calories in for the day was enough. One thing that I never do, I can't say that I never did this, but I definitely don't do it, and I don't encourage my clients to do this. We do not count macros, okay? It's just another thing on the to-do list. Now, it can be helpful if I really think a client is under eating and I really want them to see, like, you're not getting enough food. I have suggested it to one client recently and she was okay with it and I felt like her capacity could handle it. But that's one thing that we don't do because I'm not here to add to your to-do list as someone who's already a busy working woman or a working mom that's trying to homeschool her kids or trying to go to work and do all the things, okay? And so it's about simplicity. It's about doing things you're already having to do. You have to eat, so let's just eat right. Let's start implementing how food should be laid out for you during the day. And let's start with our grocery plan at the beginning of the week and plan what you're going to eat morning, noon, and dinner. Totally got those mixed up. Morning, noon, and evening. There you go. And when you have a plan and you know what you're going to eat, then it makes it a whole lot easier. So I'd love to hear from you. Do you come up with a weekly plan each week for meal plans? Do you know what you're going to eat for lunch? Is lunch hard for you? Because it was really hard for us. I remember texting my homeschool group one time and I was like, what do y'all do for lunch? I feel like this is so burdensome every single day because we get done with homeschool and then it's like, okay, moving into lunch. Now I have to think again and I have to plan again and I have to prepare again for 5 little children. And so I've let that one go. Actually, lunch is one of the things where I'm like, you know what? It's on y'all's terms. You're old enough. You're 11 and 12 now. And then even the 6-year-old, they're responsible for their lunch. They fix their own lunch. And I let them have it. They do what they want to do. And so if I've already got food that I approve of in the home, it's not a big deal. I'm not having to think about it. I've thought about it one time when I bought the groceries, done deal. That's all that it takes. And so what works for you? I would love to know. Share it over in the Facebook group. Go to the show notes if you want to join our Facebook group. And I would love to hear from you what works for you, what works for your kids, especially if you're a homeschooling family or you stay at home and you keep the kids at home. What works for you? What do you keep in the cabinets and the cupboards for your kids and for yourself so that y'all are prioritizing your nutrition each and every day? With that, have a good one, and I will see you on next week's episode of Christian Wellness for Weary Women.